What is going on YouTube? Hayden back making another brand new Crypto TV episode. In today's video, we're going to be looking at Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, as well as XLM to BTC. We're also going to be looking at the current coin market cap, as well as an article posted by, I believe this is Forbes. Forget China. Is this the real reason Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and Ripple bounced? Tons of different questions. As you guys know, current coin market cap has soared in prices. Absolutely crazy. Yesterday I made two videos, one in the morning discussing the possibilities of a reversal, which we now just saw. I posted a video last night in regards to the fact that we did just see a reversal, which is absolutely awesome. And I now want to talk about my positions, why I sold, where I sold, why these levels were expected to retrace down here. Hopefully you guys will learn something, pretty much talking about also where we're going to be seeing, or where I project to see the markets move in the next couple of days. Lastly, we are doing a giveaway, guys, every Friday on the channel for a free $25 of Bitcoin. All you have to do to enter is comment down below. And lastly, if you don't miss out on any of these videos that I post daily uploads, all you have to do is turn on post notifications and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out. Otherwise, let's jump right into today's episode. So guys, where do I even begin? There is so much freaking information flowing through the charts right now that it is so hard to find one point to discuss. I guess we can start off really quick with the current coin market cap. As you guys can see, volume is skyrocketing, $155 billion. That's absolutely amazing. Market cap is up, volume is up. Top 10 cryptos, the entire market is green and flourishing with price, but as we know, seeing markets green this high, double digits, usually is a great indicator of a reversal. So do anticipate that. You can start to see that that's what's happening now. We're starting to peak and retrace down to lower levels, so that's why I did make that sell. That's why I sold off, because I knew we would start to come back down and it will be very hard and very quick. So that's why you have to pay attention and know when to buy and when to sell out. And I'll explain to you guys some tips and tricks that I use as towards when I like to buy and when I like to sell. So I guess to jump right into things, we can start off with, I want to start off with Ethereum and then jump into Litecoin and Bitcoin. Now, Ethereum was a coin that I discussed with you yesterday, saying that I bought in at $800, or I put $800 into the coin back in the morning when we first started at $160. And I said a couple of things. First, I knew that we were going to retest at least 175 for a couple of reasons. Notice how down here at 160 we were oversold, and we were testing that oversold line. We were also quite bearish on the MACD with that blue band below the orange band. So that was another great indicator to show us that we were going to head up to higher levels. It was a great play, seeing that every time we've tested the bottom in the past, we end up moving back up and retesting the top at around $196, $200. So that was a great indicator of seeing that retestment and that retracement back up to $200, or that correction, however you want to word it. So where did I buy? Where did I sell? As you know, I sold off at around 181, the current, a little bit higher than what we're currently trading at right now. Then I want to show you guys how I made that judgment as to where the fail-safe is and how I trade on a conservative platform. So with my corrections and calculations, the start of the breakout was right here. And if we pull this up, this is the Fibonacci retracement. I ended this right here. Now, it doesn't really matter how far you extend this, because inevitably the top is right up here. Now, here's what I want to explain to you guys. With this up here right now, you'll notice that these do end in a bunch of different colors, each block, each barrier. Notice how that is most definitely in correlation with the price right now. So with this breaking out, you'll notice we bought in at 160 and we sold off at around 181. Where 181 is right here, right in between this yellow right here and the green right here. Green is pretty much the sweet spot in regards to when I like to sell off, when the price is most definitely going to hit. And then as we head higher up, these are riskier positions. This is more of a moderate trader. This is more of a, I wouldn't even call it maybe professional trader or a risky trader. This is quite risky, that red zone right here. And you can see the price correlated with this almost exactly how it was supposed to be planned. So we started off here. We sold at 181 because I did expect the price to head up to $200, but I knew immediately right when it was going to retest 200, it was going to fall right back down and correct all the way back down. So this is a risky area. A lot of people tend to buy in on the FOMO buy up, which I'll explain within Bitcoin, that people people did, and then it ends up pulling all the way back down and they lose a lot of money. So with that buy-in position here, we sold at the green around 181 at the top of the green right here, and anything higher was a risk. And you notice that immediately as we went up within the same candle, we retraced all the way back down below it, because this is a risky trade up here. As much as I'd like to sell at 200, there was probably maybe a 20-minute to a half-hour window to sell off in between here. Otherwise, you're going to lose it. And that's if your trade closes up here. If your market order does close up here, sometimes it doesn't, and you'll end up losing and missing out on the trade. So that's why the sweet spot as a conservative trader was to buy in at 160, sell off at around 180 to 181, and cash out that way. That is exactly what I did. So now to show you guys exactly what's going on with Bitcoin, and hopefully that really helped you with what's going on with Ethereum. Notice how we are also overbought. I think it was a great indicator to show you guys where to buy and sell. So with Bitcoin, what exactly am I referring to? You guys could do the same thing. It was a little bit harder to predict the top with with Bitcoin, mainly because we didn't have that top cap. It was very hard to predict where the top would be. But with that being said, you can see how this is mainly the green indicator here. That's what I predicted would be the top. I believe this was the safest spot. I knew the coin was going to retrace back up and retest the resistance right here. And I was also anticipating, and I said in yesterday's video, that this is a lot of FOMO. I figured that this is the line, the sweet spot that the currency or the price wants to stay at and wants to be at, because that's what makes sense. If you notice on the daily right now, majority of the coins tend to trade below the downtrend because this is a very strong resistance, and we end up wicking right here. Now notice we're on the daily candle, and that's exactly what's happening. You know, for those of you who don't think technical analysis works, I beg to differ. The fact that we have this downtrend right here almost explicitly states that this is going to be a major resistance, and there's a 99% chance we're going to close this wick way below the downtrend, because that's what we've seen. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numerous days where we've wicked up above it in the day and closed below the downtrend. That's exactly what's happening right now. We wicked up all the way above it, and there's a good chance we're going to close all the way back down. So you know, most people are, I would suggest this is a sell-off point at around $9,000. That's the sell-off, that's resistance. Not only that, we're hitting the high-low middle moving averages, which is also a huge resistance. So that was another great reason to sell off right here. There's a chance it was going to go higher. It made sense. That's called FOMO investors. People that bought in and didn't, you know, this is the first time we've seen extreme explicit volume since all the way in September, of 2019, September 24th. That's when we've seen major volume like this, and that was on a correction back downwards. So the last time we saw major volume like that heading up was all the way back in June. So this has been a long time. That was June of 2019. So that's absolutely wild that we're finally seeing volume come back in and rush back in. We're getting very close to the end of this descending triangle. So I am predicting that we close back down below here, but this was a very planned breakout, and it's nice to see the correction happening. So I'm anticipating to see some more consolidation, and there's a good chance we're going to head back down lower now. We're overbought on the 4-hour. We're almost overbought on the daily. There's a really good chance we're going to see a correction lower. There's a really good chance we're going to come back down and head down to around the $7,500, basically the point of breakout once again. But this is huge. It makes sense. I'd say this part right here is all FOMO investing. Anything above this purple downtrend or this purple resistance is FOMO investors buying in. They saw the run. They didn't want to miss out. You could cash out on here, selling off at a high of 10.5, but I consider that to be very difficult right here. Being a conservative trader, I don't want to risk this. I don't want greed to set in and me end up, buying in here or buying in even higher and then losing it as we come back down in the retracement. So that, is what I wanted to help you guys out with. Obviously, I am putting in a ton of work, guys. I'm actually putting in a lot more on Patreon. So if you haven't yet checked out Patreon, it's very, very, very great. It's a great way to get updated on all of my charts, live updates, as well as exclusive content that's not on YouTube. So I highly recommend you check that out. It is the first link in the description. It is also a great way to support the channel. So I highly recommend you check that out. Tons of information is on there in regards to when I'm buying, when I'm selling, when's good prices to buy in, when's good prices to sell off. And lastly, to check out Litecoin. You'll notice Litecoin very easily seeing that same correction. Very interesting. Litecoin's been the biggest one that we're going to spend quite a couple days on. The fact that we closed today's candle below here, the fact that we're only 50 on the RSI, it gives me great reason to believe that we're going to head up we are going to head up. This might be the end of the downtrend, and we may start to see some correction back to the upside. So honestly, let's see how the next couple of days play out, and I'll update you guys on when I'm buying back in. There's a good chance we're going to come all the way back down and retest around $50 on Litecoin before I reinvest. We'll see how that looks on the 4 hour, because eventually we're going to swing right back up to the $70 resistance of the high-low MMA. You'll notice not only that we were overbought on the 4 hour, it makes sense as to why we're correcting back down to lower levels. We're now retesting the top of the high-low MMA, which is great on the 4 hour, and there's a good chance we're going to see that swing to the upside fairly soon. We just need the correction, the consolidation, and things to slow down within Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum. XLM, very weird. It's acting extremely inverse to where the market's heading. Obviously, as cryptos are bullish, Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum head up. XLM tends to break bearish and is pulling back down. Resistance at the high-low MMA. The ascending triangle broke bearish, and the short channel right here kind of made sense. I've seen this pattern happen a lot. And now we're entering a bearish divergence on the MACD, or a bearish move on the MACD, which is probably going to end up pulling us all the way back down to this support right here. Now, this isn't necessarily a bad thing, because like I said within Ethereum, which was a great call on XLM, if we end up retesting the bottom support right here, we may do the same thing, retest down here and then swing all the way back up. This is money to be made, so pay close attention to that. Lastly, to discuss why people think this breakout actually happened, because obviously there's a reason in technical analysis and there's a reason in media. It says the reason we swung is because many Bitcoin and crypto market analysts pointed comments made by China's President Xi Jinping that the country should seize the opportunity of Bitcoin's blockchain as the reason behind Bitcoin's sudden rally. China banned Bitcoin and crypto, and now he's saying that we must use blockchain as an important breakthrough for independent innovation and core technologies. So is that a great reason? I'm not too sure. I mean, it was almost perfectly pointed out on the technical analysis for a breakout to happen, and now we're seeing that breakout happen on media. Media was the reason. I don't know. Very interesting. We've been waiting and anticipating the breakout for quite some time now. And we're seeing that Xi Jinping is saying that he wants to use the cryptocurrency, the blockchain, for technology purposes and reasons, and that's the reason of the blowout. Maybe that could be potentially, I don't know. I think this was the main reason that we called it at the bottom of the third fractal to see a bigger breakout. You'll also notice, and I'll wrap things up because this episode's getting fairly long, look at how beautiful this breakout happened right on point. Not only did we have a pump fake right here, but for those of you who are interested, notice how every time we see this fractal happen, we test the bottom and then we break bullish. And then this happened too. We go down here, we test the bottom, then we break bullish. Notice the same thing happened here. We tested here, we tested the bottom, and then we broke bullish. It's the same swing right here as we see right here, as we see right here. So these fractals are called for. Obviously, this was the only, outlier, this pump fake that we saw right here, this pump out of the breakout. But as soon as we saw that yesterday, or 2 days ago, we drew the bottom support, and the second we saw a retest here, we knew we were going to head right back up. So honestly, I love technical analysis. Hopefully you guys too. Like I said, take advantage of the giveaway. We're doing a $25 Bitcoin giveaway every Friday, so make sure to leave a comment down below. Subscribe, turn on post notifications, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Peace.